Thank you, sir. Thank you for the introduction. And good evening, all participants. Today we are going to see about blockchain facts. So let me share my screen. Okay. I think it is visible for all. Shall we start, sir? Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, today we are going to see about blockchain and its facts. Before going to the facts of a blockchain, we are going to see what is mean by a blockchain. And today's agenda will be like this. That is a blockchain history. What is a blockchain? How does a blockchain work? And the blockchain industry applications which we are using nowadays in our day-to-day applications, and some other fascinating facts about a blockchain, and how this blockchain is going to be a kickstart for the fifth industrial revolution. And after that we are going to conclude this session. This is the agenda now we are going to follow. So before going to a blockchain history, let me give some introduction about a blockchain. So blockchain is just a database, not only just a database, it is a kind of a database in which you are going to add data as a blocks, and here you are using a link of a chain called cryptography. So here we are going to apply cryptography and data structure database, and this blockchain is a data structure in which we are going to store a data. So the data will be as a block, and the link for those blocks will be a chain, and that chain will be initiated and linked with the cryptographic technique. And then this blockchain will be a data structure in which we are going to store our data in a ordered manner. So this is a blockchain, and the history starts from 1991 to till date. So 1991 to 2008, Stuart Haber and Scott Stornetta work on a first blockchain model, and okay, sir. Is it changed now, sir? Not it. Okay, let me wait for a few seconds. Is it visible now, sir? Yes. The history of a blockchain starts from 1991 and till today. So it was first, the blockchain was framed by Stuart Haber and Scott Stornetta, who worked on a first blockchain. But blockchain just came as a technology, but it is not implemented. They come up with a work called blockchain. We can store our data as a blocks, and we can create a cryptographic techniques to connect those blocks. Like that, they come up with the idea. But this idea was first implemented by Satoshi Nakamoto. He is a pseudonym and he's anonymous, and we don't know whether he exists or not. Till now, he is a mysterious person. So Satoshi Nakamoto, who released a Bitcoin white paper first on 2009. So this was the origin for a blockchain technology, which was implemented as a cryptocurrency. So the first Bitcoin purchase, 10,000 Bitcoins, takes place in 2010. So then, from 2010 to 2012 and 13, the Bitcoin transaction was happened, and the transactions was enabled through Bitcoins. That is, the Bitcoins will be a cryptocurrency. But blockchain is not only for cryptocurrencies. So the Vitalik Buterin, that is, Vitalik Buterin is a person who realizes that it is not only blockchain is for cryptocurrencies. We can use it for some other thing also. Why can we store a data as a cryptocurrency alone? Like that, he come up with the idea, and he introduces Ethereum with the advanced technology, where this blockchain is mainly for a ledger, that is a timestamp. Whenever we are adding a block, it will be having all the informations from starting to the end till today. This is like a ledger, so it will be having a timestamp. This is the basic thing. And why can't we use it for bonds or any other applications? Like that, he came up with the Ethereum blockchain, and this Ethereum blockchain was funded by a crowd sale. and people are ready to invest at that time because of the success of a Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, after Bitcoin success, how can we define it as a success? Means it has crossed the $1 million value, one Bitcoin in 2013. So the Vitalik Buterin has started his work on a blockchain, and he introduced some smart contracts on a bonds. Like if you are working with real estate people, and if you are having some agreements, so some bonding, some agreements with online virtually, if you want to do, means we can use a blockchain technology. Like that, he come up with a another part of a blockchain technology rather than from a cryptocurrencies alone. So it enabled transactions to a contracts. That is, after that, the Ethereum started smart contracts to be implemented using a blockchain technology. So then, after that, the Ethereum created a Genesis block in 2015, and this Genesis block means it is a first block created with the blockchain. So chain, if it is a chain, means we have to connect one another. So we need an initial block, right? So that initial block is called as a Genesis block. So Ethereum came up with the first Genesis block in 2015 for smart contracts. Even though if it is very secure, very transparent, and blockchain is anonymous, so we are about to exploit it, and we will be getting attacked soon. So in 2016, Ethereum got attacked by a bug. So then they come up with a block.1 protocol for their blockchain system. So then they come up with a block.1 protocol for their uh, blockchain system. And already we have discussed that blockchain has attacks, and it will be having but it is secured. How can we identify it as attack? So for that, they come up with a protocol called block.1. So after that, they started to apply blockchain for real-time applications. So we will be seeing further. So this is the history of a blockchain from 1991 to 2018. The blockchain history, that is the travel timeline we have seen now. And next thing, what is a blockchain? First thing, we are going to see how the blocks are created, and what is a blockchain, and what is kind of a network it will be having. Sir, my slide changed. Okay, sir. Ah. Now, sir. Okay. Yes. Okay. Now we are going to see about what is a blockchain and what are all the properties of a blockchain. So, blockchain is a distributed database that maintain continuously growing list of ordered records. It is the ordered records, and it is continuously growing list, and this growing list can be added as a blocks. So we are going to add block by blocks into a chain, and that link can be created using a cryptography. And this block will be having a previous hash of a block. That is, if it is going to add it with another block, it will be having a previous block's hash with it, and this creates a link between two blocks. So each block contains a cryptographic hash of a previous block. And another part will be a timestamp when the block has been entered, and when the transaction has been initiated, and what are all the transactions happened within that block can be identified with this timestamp, like a passbook entry in a bank. Whenever we are withdrawing amount, whenever we are going to bank for a deposit, like that, we will be making entry into a passbook. So that will be like a timestamp for each and every block. And the transaction on a data, that is the transaction which we are going to do with the data. So blockchain is a distributed database that maintains continuously growing list of ordered records. That records are called blocks, and these blocks are linked using a cryptography. And each block will be having a previous block's hash, and a timestamp, and a transaction data. So here it is having peculiar properties, that it is a decentralized and a distributed, and it is public digital ledger. it can be accessed by anyone. It is public. And decentralized means it doesn't have any authority, or it doesn't have any centralized person or a center most hub like that. It will be a decentralized. Anyone can authorize any function inside the network. So it is decentralized. Obviously, if it is decentralized means it will be distributed. So it will be distributed to all the people who can add their transaction into their blockchain. So this is a major properties of a blockchain: decentralized, distributed, and public digital ledgers. So here we are having decentralized and distributed network. What if some people can access a data, or some people can change the data? There are possibilities, but once if a block is added into a blockchain, you cannot change it. That is, no alterations can be encouraged inside a blockchain. Not even encouraged, it is not at all possible once a block is added into a blockchain. And this property is called immutability. It is having a major property, it is immutability. So the robustness of a blocks which is inside a blockchain is guaranteed. So we can have a data unchanged once the block is added into a blockchain. So how we can maintain this secrecy, how we can maintain this security and all in a blockchain? So through a consensus. Consensus here means agreement algorithms. There will be many consensus algorithms out there. I don't want to go into much deep into that consensus algorithm because it is just an introduction session. So consensus algorithms are mainly for agreements. So here, major agreements we can use in a blockchain are proof of work and proof of stake. Proof of work is for the block has been added, and the proof of stake is for these many blocks are available in a blockchain. So proof of work and proof of stake are the two major consensus algorithms we are using in a blockchain. So blocks and chain, how the cryptography is applied as a link we have seen, and the major properties of a blockchain is immutability. It cannot be changed, and there is no alterations is possible once the block is added into a chain. Next one is it is a decentralized. So anyone can authorize a new block, and anyone can accept a new block after verifying it. And it is having enhanced security as it is anonymous and purely with no alteration and everything. It is having a secured algorithm. Through cryptography, we are going to add a block. So it is having an enhanced security. And then consensus algorithms for agreements, and then distributed ledgers. Whenever the block is performing a transaction, it will be distributed to all the blocks or all the people who are there in a network. And then it is having a faster settlement as it is not a centralized thing. Anyone can approve the transaction, so it is a faster settlement. So these are the major key elements of a blockchain. And next, how the blockchain will be and how the blockchain network will be, we are going to see. Sir, is this visible? Next slide. No, sir, I think so. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Some connectivity issue, I think so. I see. And now is it visible, sir? Yes, thank you. So first one, how the blockchain will looks like. So first figure shows how the blockchain will be. After that, each blocks will be how it will be formed as a network. We are going to see. So first one, Genesis block. Here, first block is called as a Genesis block. Already I have told in a history. So first block will be having only hash and data. How this hash can be added into a block? Through a cryptographic technique we have seen. And what kind of a cryptographic technique means? It is having a SHA-256 algorithm. That is secured hashing algorithm 256 bit. So which means it will be having a secured hashing of 256 bit, which was added along with the data. So the people who are inside a network will be having a decoding keys with them. So the hash will be making and hiding the data, and it will be responsible for the security. So hash, and then if we want to add a next block, we have to include a previous hash, current hash, and then a data. So it will be having three parts: previous hash and the current hash for that block, and then the data which we are included in that block. So Second, if you want to add one more link, so the previous the hash, current hash, and the data. These are the link which we can create through a cryptographic hashing algorithm, and these are the blocks in which we are going to store a data. So we are now added a blockchain, and we are having a chain of blocks within us. How these blocks are distributed to a network? It will be one to one, that is peer to peer network. So people inside that network will be having one to one connection. So it is direct peer to peer transaction. And if you want to send the money from one person to another person, you can directly send from one person to another person without any third parties. So that is the major reason we are using a peer to peer network for a blockchain network, and it is very secure, and it is decentralized and distributed among multiple participants. So it is not held with a single entity. If we are not going to wait for one person to make the approval to all the transactions to be released, so we are here as a decentralized. And if I am joining as an network engineer in a blockchain technology, what I am working with, even I can approve that transaction, and the transaction can be immediately released, and it is distributed among all the nodes of a hard drives in a computer. And this is the network we are going to work with the blockchain. It is a decentralized, peer to peer, and it is distributed. So if the data loss happens at one node, and no problem, as it is distributed, it will be stored in another system also, it will be in another node also. So we can get that node. As it is immutable, the data will be unchanged, so we can get a data as it is from another node also. So the data loss will be reduced, and even if there is a data loss, we can recollect the data loss through another node of a computer which is joined with a blockchain network. So here we have seen a blockchain, how the blockchain is created, and how the blocks are added, and how the linking procedure has been happened. And now we are going to see blockchain network. It is a decentralized, peer-to-peer, and it is distributed among all the people. So we are having one or more nodes that are distributed with the same transactions. And we will be seeing the working procedure in the next slide. Before that, we have seen blockchain and blockchain network, where the storage will be taking place. The storage will be taking place as a two ways: hot storage and cold storage. Hot storage means it will be an online storage through a cloud, or virtually we are going to store the data in a network. And next one is a cold storage. It will be utilizing the hard disk of a computer. If I am inside a blockchain network, and I can give permission to my blockchain network to store data from my computer's hard disk. So that is a cold storage, and it will be having a more cost to mine a Bitcoin from, or mine a block from a blockchain. It will take more cost and more time, energy consumption. That is why the blockchain which we are using nowadays prefer only hot storage. And now next we are going to see how the transaction process will be enabled. Yes. Yes, thank you. So if I want to add a new block into my blockchain, so a new transaction will send a signal that I am entering into a blockchain. So like that, if the transaction is entered, and this transaction will be sent to a peer-to-peer blockchain network, what we have seen before. So this peer-to-peer blockchain network will just add this block, and it will be sending it for verification. So if I am a valid transaction or not, am I from a valid person, I'm having a valid ID, like that, the transaction will be sending it inside a network. So it will be scattered among a network around the world who are all inside a blockchain. So the transaction will be shared through a peer-to-peer network. After that, if I am going to take this transaction, then I am going to verify with this equation whether it is valid or not. Some equations will be there, and that is it will be using a digital signatures. So if I am a blockchain person and I am going to accept this transaction, I need to give a verification through a digital signature. So once the transaction is valid, and I have given my digital signature, the transaction will be transferred to the blocks which is already accepted. So it will be added to a accepted block. Once if it is not valid, and the block will be removed in that third stage itself. So if the block is having all the required sorry, all the required transaction details like address, and then where it is where the transaction is initiated, the address of the the location of the person it is going to send. So like that, if the transaction is valid and it is not from attacker is confirmed, then the block will be added into a clustered blocks, that is accepted blocks. After that, it will be creating a link through a cryptography. That is, these blocks are, excuse me, sorry, the slide has changed. So these blocks are chained at the fifth stage. At the fifth stage, once the block is confirmed and it is added into a blockchain, it will be having a hash function at the previous block. So it will be having a previous block's hash function, and all the transactions which it has come through will be added, and it is unaltered. Once the block is added into a blockchain, the transaction will be complete. This is the entire transaction process of a blockchain network. So once the new transaction is initiated, it will be sent to a peer-to-peer network, and the peer-to-peer network scatter this transaction for a verification. And after verification, and after it is validated through some equations, and it will be confirming a valid block. After confirmation, the block will be clustered, and the clustered block will be sending one by one the for the blockchain. And after that, adding a hash before a block, and the previous hash, the present hash, and the transaction data with the timestamp will be added into a blockchain. And these blockchain, once if it is ordered into a blockchain, the transaction is completed. This is the transaction process of adding a blocks into a blockchain. And next one is applications. Next slide is visible, sir. Oh, it's that slide only, sir. Okay, sir. Yes. Thank you, sir. So here we have seen blockchain is very secure, and it has started transactions, and it has been implemented as a smart contracts nowadays. So based on these four properties, where are all we can use a blockchain? We are going to see now. So as a digital currency, and as a record keeping for a securities reason, and a smart contracts. So smart contracts means for a wages and a digital rights for particular website or a business, online business. So we can use smart contracts for uh, online e-commerce websites. Like that, we can use blockchain using a smart contracts. This is a smart contracts application where we can use a blockchain technology to maintain secured and right way to proceed with the applications. That is, if I am working with the Amazon and it is a supply chain industry, and I will be having a keep track information. That is, it is as it is immutable. If there is any distraction occurs in my transaction or occurs in my order delivery, I can easily identify those supply chain through my block ID. So using e-commerce website and the supply chain industry mainly use these smart contracts, and this smart contracts is enabled through a blockchain. And digital currency, even our RBI has been initiated a digital currency of rupees, Indian rupees, and it is in a pilot study. So digital currencies is only for a particular group of people. That is, if I want to share my amount of currency, like Flipkart super coins and big basket neo coins, only the particular group of users can use those coins, and this is called crowdfunding area. That in that crowdfunding area, we can use a blockchain technology. That is, only big basket users can use a neo coins, only the Flipkart users can use a super coins. So like that, if in that kind of a crowdfunding, we can use a digital currency through blockchain. And next, record keeping. Mainly, the record keeping will be done by healthcare industries and title records, ownership, voting, even on a voting, as it is anonymous and it is not going to reveal any person's personal details or anything. So we can use voting also through blockchain. And intellectual properties. If we want to keep secured records through intellectual properties, so for record keeping we can use a blockchain in a industry as an industry applications for healthcare, title records, ownership, voting, and intellectual properties. For security reasons also, it obviously implies a digital currency. What are all the things we are doing for a digital currency, and the security will also implies for a digital currency where we are going to working with, because it is secured and it cannot be altered. So for the securities will also include a digital currency applications. And even in a supply chain, we can use a blockchain. So these are all the industry applications where we can use smart contracts, digital currencies, and a record keeping industries like healthcare, voting, intellectual properties, and secured. If we need a security, we can use a blockchain industry. So these are all the industrial applications where we can use a blockchain technology. And even in a real estate business, they are all using a blockchain. And next slide. Work with fascinating facts about a blockchain. So already we have seen industrial applications. Here we are going to see what are all the facts that has been fascinating with the blockchain technology. First ever the blockchain, that is pizza was ordered for 10,000 bitcoins in 2010. For 10,000 bitcoins they have ordered pizza, but today's worth of that 10,000 bitcoins is over 570 million dollars. So in 2010, we doesn't know the value of a Bitcoin. So the first ever item bought through a blockchain was a pizza, and it is for purchased for 10,000 Bitcoins in 2010, and the value of today's price will be 570 million dollars. And the computing power required to mine a new block in a Bitcoin will be consumed as a small country's electricity, which the consumption of a entire small country's electricity will be a new block of a Bitcoin request. So the energy consumption is more compared to uh, other technologies. Here in a Bitcoin network, if you want to mine a new block, we need an entire electricity consumption of a small countries like Ireland and Denmark. This is the major drawback of a blockchain. And here in 2018, the World Bank issued first blockchain-based bond, raising $110 million in the process. And in 2018, even World Bank has issued a first blockchain-based bond. And here the smart contracts is applied for $110 million. And then the famous twins Winklevoss had a legal battle with Mark Zuckerberg, and he was the founder of a Facebook, and they invested in a Bitcoin earlier. Now they are having 1% of all the Bitcoin in circulation, which it worth billions of dollars. So they have invested in a Bitcoins, and now they are the owners of 1% of all the Bitcoins circulated among the world. And the first ever blockchain based video game was a CryptoKitties. This is a CryptoKitties is a video game which was launched using a blockchain technology. And in 2017, it caused a congestion in an Ethereum network and it slowed down the other transaction process. So this CryptoKitties video game slowed down the Ethereum network for their other transaction process. This was the first video game which was introduced using a blockchain based technologies. So these are the fascinating facts about a blockchain. And next one, how this blockchain will be kickstarting the fifth industrial revolution we are going to see. So shall I change the slide, sir? Okay. So, as we know, the industrial revolution was started from 17th century. So, we are now in an industrial revolution of fifth industrial revolution, that is industry 5.0. The first industrial revolution 1.0 was a machinization, that is the steam engine, steam engine was first introduced in 17th century. Then in the 18th century, we had an industry 2.0 where the machinization was transformed to electrification. So electrical engines was replaced with the steam engine. So in 18th century, the industrial revolution theme was electrification. So after that, the industrial revolution has been happened as a 10 centuries. So in the 19th century, we came up with the automation. The theme of the industrial revolution in 19th century, industry 3.0 was automation. And in the 19th century means in nearly around 1970s. So now in 20th century, in 2011 we have initiated industry 4.0 with digitalization. So starting from machinization, electrification, automation, now we are in a industry 4.0 as a digitalization. What will be the fifth industrial revolution, industry 5.0? We have all the revolutions has been happened nearly a century. Century means a year. So 70s, 17th, 18th, and 19th. Now we are in a 2011 to 2020. We had an industry 4.0 with a digitization. And digitalization has been now enabled in all the parts of a country. Every record is a digitalized. So through Aadhaar, we are digitalizing all the data of a people, Indian citizen. So this digitalization has been started in 2011. And industry 5.0 is about to start within a 10 year. So how we are growing, we can see through this. It took centuries to complete industry 4.0. Now we are in another 10 years, we are getting into a fifth industrial revolution, and the concept and theme of industry 5.0 will be uh, personalization or humanization. So individual persons data will be stored. So it's going to be a humanization along with the technology. So if we want to personalization, data about each and every person should be needed to be recorded. We need a secured details. So now each and everyone is having a account in every websites. Am I right? So nearly e-commerce websites and even a social media website. Everyone is having each and individual account. How the data are going to be stored? How the person's track will be stored? So using these blockchain technology, and now a concept of digital twin is arriving. So digital twin means combining two technologies to get a better results. So AI with IoT and blockchain with IoT and cyber security with AI, like the digital twins are establishing nowadays, and we are on a digital twin era. So if industry 5.0 has been already from 2020, we have been in industry 5.0. And here the blockchain plays major role in personalizing the data. So in a global market, in a fifth industrial revolution, I think so the blockchain technology will be it will create a major impact on the industry 5.0. For example, with the supply chain, the blockchain solutions can be paired with smart packing, and with the IoT, we can have a records of a journey from one item from one place to another place, and it will be creating a manufacturer to the consumer transparency. So how the transparent procedures are taking place from one end to another end, from a manufacturer end to consumer end. So this transparency can be established through a blockchain network. So here we will be having a blockchain which will be creating a major impact on a industry 5.2. This was the expectations in which we are going to be establishing in future through this industry 5.0. And at last we are going to we are in a conclusion session. So the blockchain is a rapidly, sir, the slide is changed. Yes, thank you. So now we are in a rapid growth, and there will be countless applications which uses security and the decentralized ledger. And here we are saying the security as ironclad security, because it cannot be hacked or attacked, because in a blockchain we are providing ironclad security, and it is a decentralized ledger, and it is providing more transparency. So the it will be in a business, if you are using a blockchain, and it will be providing more transparency, means the consumers will be having a more trust on a manufacturer and the agency what we are working with. So the blockchain has developed a new era in a future. So the value of a global blockchain market has been projected to reach $39.7 billion in 2025. So this was the projection which we are expecting by 2025. That is $39.7 billion. It will be providing a grand view of a research, and blockchain is not only for a cryptocurrency. So again, I just want to register here, blockchain is not only for a cryptocurrency, and it will be providing a new way to manage your data securely. So we have seen many cryptocurrencies only using a blockchain, but it is not like that. We can use a blockchain for other applications for data storage. So it is basically a database with a growing database. That's all. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, sir. Yes, sure. Thank you, sir. Thank you for providing this opportunity. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Yes, sure, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for this opportunity. And I thank all the participants for patient listening. Thank you. Thank you, sir.